Okay. There we go. All right. I'd like to call the February 25th regular school board meeting for Lake County Schools to order. If everyone would please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and welcome to the meeting. Mr. Gamble is ill tonight, so I will be doing my first full meeting. So if you'll be patient with me if I make mistakes, that would be great. Do we have any changes, amendments, additions, or deletions to the agenda?
No.
There is a revised HR transaction list for item 9.01 was added today. You have a copy of that in front of you along with the agreement for item 8.07. So those are both in front of you.
Okay, at this point, we're ready for approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so we have a unanimous consent, and we are moving on to representation. Today, we have the district spotlight, which is on career technical education, otherwise known as vocational education. It is CTE Month, and Ms. Owens, please take us away.
February is CTE Month, a time for districts across the country to celebrate the value of career and technical education programs, the students enrolled in those programs, and the benefits those students will enjoy as a result of their participation in CTE. CTE directly prepares students for high-wage, high-demand careers. It covers many different fields, including healthcare, information technology, advanced manufacturing, hospitality and management, and many more. CTE also encompasses many different types of education, from classroom learning to certification programs to work-based learning opportunities outside the classroom. At Lake County Schools, we have CTE programs in all 8 of our high schools and all 10 of our middle schools. Last year, 7,457 Lake County High School students were enrolled in CTE programs, and 5,196 middle school students were enrolled.
Before I took this class, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but now I realize I want to go to school for business and study public relations or hospitality, and then eventually become a CEO and then develop my own company.
We have more than 100 instructional labs where students learn through hands-on activities and experiences that complement their academic classes. Students choose a pathway or a sequence of CTE courses that allow them to pursue their interests while further developing their academic and employment potential. CTE students learn valuable workplace skills. CTE programs develop a student's academic and technical knowledge. They also teach leadership development, interpersonal skills, and work ethic within an industry-specific context. The benefits for CTE students are numerous. 80% of high school students taking both CTE and college prep courses meet college and career readiness goals, compared to 63% who take college prep courses alone. 81% of high school dropouts say relevant, real-world learning opportunities like CTE would have kept them in school. And graduates with technical or applied science associate's degrees can out-earn bachelor's degree holders by $11,000. 6 out of 10 CTE students plan to pursue a career related to the CTE area they're exploring in high school. And studies show that the more students participate in career and technical student organizations, the higher their academic motivation, academic engagement, grades, career self-efficacy, college aspirations, and employability skills.
The certifications, everything is pretty much applicable to everything. You know, for the future, it's good to have. It looks good on resumes, it looks good for college applications. It's a big deal.
At Lake County Schools, we are proud to offer our students a wide variety of CTE experiences that prepare them to enter the workforce immediately after high school or to continue their education at the next level. They are earning industry certifications that will give them an advantage over their competitors when they apply for jobs. In fact, last year, our students earned 3,093 industry certifications, a number that has climbed steadily over the years. And we are constantly looking for ways to enhance our offerings. This year, for example, we launched the Teaching Academy at Tavares High School for students interested in the field of education, and the Construction Academy at Leesburg High, where students are getting hands-on experience and working directly with experts in the field. February is CTE Month. Join us as we celebrate today and own tomorrow.
Very nice.
I just want to mention as a follow-up to that our House Bill 2489, which is to expand the Construction Academy into Eustis High, passed unanimously through the first committee, so it's well on its way, and we'll appreciate our legislative delegation that's continuing to push for that.
That's fabulous news. I'm really excited. I'm so excited that we're increasing our offerings and opportunities for our students every year. And I'm really excited to see where our vocational and CTE education will go. At this point, we are at public input. I have one public input card. So at this point, I'd like to call up Stuart Clapp.
Good evening.
Sorry.
Wow, I didn't get that much.
It's a new timer and it's a little slippery.
Okay.
Pardon me.
Oh, I'll time it for you.
I got it now.
I'm glad with CTE month. I am a CTE instructor, and so it's always good to highlight that. I'm up here looking at legislative. I'm glad she brought it up. And FEA has kind of taken a different angle, and we're looking at about a 5 or 6 point plan that we're looking at asking our legislators for. And one of that's a 10% increase in student funding, which will bring us back to pre-recession levels. And 80% of that increase should be up to local school board control and not from funded mandates that come down. Another point is changes to the general knowledge certification test to better align to what teachers need to know, and reduced fees because that gets to be expensive after a while. Another issue we're looking at is local control over teacher evaluations, ending the VAM and the work stress for administrators and teachers and that whole VAM concept, but we're bringing it back to your control of how you're going to evaluate teachers. Looking at capital outlay dollars, the legislature loves taking our PICO money and giving them to charter schools. And in the meantime, public schools that the public has paid for are getting further and further behind as far as maintenance, repair. So we want to return that PICO dollar back to public schools and using it for impacts with teacher, educational staff professional, security, bringing back continuing contracts or professional services contracts to address the teacher retention. And so basically we want to see the control of the education return back to the school board and not from top down, but what do you see our local needs being and addressing that. So I just wanted to let you know what FEA's priorities are. I sent you a commercial that's going to be starting to run in the Orlando market yet this week, maybe tomorrow, and then it will expand out into the Tallahassee market. So I sent you each the 30-second version of returning public schools and utilizing I mean, after all, constitutionally, public schools are a mandate. So let's return that back. So thank you all very much for your time, and
Thank you much, thank you, Mr. Clapp. Definitely some priorities that we can collaborate on. So at this point, we are on our report section. The attorney report, Ms. Turner?
Yes, I have two things for you tonight. First, back in October, you all approved a cooperative agreement with the Department of Juvenile Justice. They were going to be bringing a facility here in Lake County, and per state statute, we are required to provide the educational services. So you approved that back in October. The DJJ contracts with a third party for the residential component, and while they were in the process of securing that facility, there were some breakdowns, I think, with zoning issues. So it looked like that had fallen through, and we didn't expect that to return for probably about another year. But in the interim, the owner of the parcel requested a special master proceeding. It's a Chapter 70 proceeding under state statutes that is a dispute resolution. And as part of that, there is a potential settlement agreement that they have reached with the county, which stipulates a number of things. It stipulates the maximum number of students that would be allowed in that facility, their classification as low or moderate risk students, sets up staffing ratios and some security measures. That settlement agreement, that's all in the form of a county ordinance. That settlement agreement is going to, before the Board of County Commissioners on March 12th. If they approve that settlement agreement and pass that ordinance, then presumably we will resume our contract negotiations that fell apart because of their zoning issues. But we just wanted to let you know that that is March 12th before the Board of County Commissioners, and then that may be coming back to you as a separate contract with that third party for the educational component. The second thing, last week, I think on Thursday, Steve sent you all a memo with a draft resolution that relates to the use of exceptions to the SREF for the Four Corners K-8. We just wanted to present that to you so that you can see what would potentially be your options if we choose to exercise any of those exceptions. There is no resolution on the table tonight because the statutes require that we do a, a cost-benefit analysis that is completed first, that we are going to be doing as part of the design-build process. So we just wanted to show you what that would look like so that you can start thinking about your options, what you want to choose to do at that time. That's all I've got.
Will you be representing us at the March 12th, or do we need representation at that meeting?
I don't believe we're not involved with the settlement. I mean, if you all want to reach out to the commission, we can do that, but that is separate and apart from our contract with the DJJ.
May I ask a question about that? Since when the Board of County Commissioners declined to give the exception or whatever, the permit, and at that point, they had come to us, and we had already said that we were under the impression that we had to offer our services. Did we find that that wasn't legitimate?
That we had to offer?
That we had to provide the services?
The statute says that if they have a facility in our county, we have to provide the educational services.
Okay.
Is what's in question, is his question whether or not we have to provide the facility?
No.
No, the facility is separate and apart.
We were going to just provide the services.
The education component.
The education component
Via contract with somebody else.
Correct. Through the rites of passage contract, yes.
through the rite of passage.
Right.
All right, thank you for your report. We do not have any unfinished business at this time, so we'll be moving on to new business, consent agenda, business and support items. I believe we need a recommendation.
We do. I recommend approval of consent agenda items 8.01 to 10.06.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? All right, that passes unanimously. So we are at we have no discussion at this point. It's that time of year. where there's not a whole lot to discuss. And so we are moving on to the superintendent's report.
Just a reminder that we do have a workshop scheduled for Monday, March the 4th. And hopefully that's on your calendars. And we have a variety of topics for that workshop. And Ms. Owens, are you ready with my photo for tonight that I wanted to share with you? As of today, it is official, and I wanted to show you what went up today at
Oh,
Claremont. Nice. And I just want to thank Gary Rogers and his team in our grounds and maintenance department. They went above and beyond. They felt like this was just something that they too wanted to put a personal touch to, just in honor of Ms. Cole. And so I think they did a tremendous job. And so I know they're proud of it, and I'm proud of it as well, that this went up today. There's actually two signs. They look the same, one at both ends of the property, so it's very visible. So I wanted to thank Gary for that and his work. I thought he did a great job. So it is official.
yeah, it's a lovely sign.
Yeah, they did a great job. Also, I wanted to remind you that tomorrow, February 26th, that is tomorrow, at 7, Cypress Ridge Elementary School will hold its public hearing for the naming of the new cafeteria after longtime educator Dennis Reed. And they will be presenting their reports or their findings from that public hearing in a report on March the 11th. And the Night of Stars will also include the next inductees into our Alumni Hall of Fame, and so we have until Thursday, February 28th, to get those nominations in, and that information and nomination form is on our website, so don't forget to make those recommendations. And we are looking forward to celebrating our rookie teachers on March the 13th and our school-related employees of the year at the Night of Stars on April the 17th. And what a great time we had at Teacher of the Year. Congratulations to Cammie Chapman, and who is our 2019 Teacher of the Year. Letters of condolence went to John Stewart. He's a custodian in Information and Instructional Technology Service. He lost his sister, Cynthia Williams Spray, and so condolences to him and his family.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll move on to board member comments. Mr. Mathias, you're up.
I'll hold my comments.
I have a couple of things. Try to give you the evil eye. I know what you're doing. I wanted to also thank the Teacher of the Year, Camille, for what she does. We had a really, really fabulous event. It's always fun to see everybody so dressed up, and it's just a celebration of teachers, which is fantastic. So we had a lot of sponsors, a lot of people that came and participated, and Sheriff Grinnell was there, and it was just a really fabulous night, so as it always is. I also wanted to report Tallahassee was a success last week when we went. Obviously, we warmly received by our local delegation, but we had several members of the different cities that were with us, and they all were advocating for education. It was especially interesting. We had the executive director of the Early Learning Coalition who partnered with the Education Committee, and we were able, with the help of Sherry, to present a platform that was pre-K through 12th grade and even early childhood education. So a lot of times our focus is on K-12, but when you think about it, they're coming from homes that are in Lake County to us, and we have to make sure they're ready as well. So it was really interesting for me listening to their priorities as well, and they've got some really, really good ideas in regards to how to hand off the babies from private service providers to our public education, and that's really kind of been working in silos, and she had some legislation that is being pushed by Senator Baxley and a couple of others that would open up those lines of communication. But it was really nice to have a united front in education come forward with the people that served on the team. So hopefully we'll see some good news. Everybody was very excited about Elevate Lake with the Eustis High School Construction Academy, and we got the news when we were in Tallahassee that it made it through committee. So it was really exciting. I also wanted to put in a commercial for Eustis Service League. We do a bunco night every year to raise money for teacher scholarships for mini grants. And so Friday night, if you don't have anything to do, it's $25 a ticket, and it's at the Eustis Community Building. Don't quote me on that. Look on Facebook. I'll post it there. And there's information around there, but it's 100% of the dollars go to teachers in the Eustis schools. And so it's a really fun event, but it's also very beneficial to education. So I'm just kidding. I think that's it. Thank you.
Well, I as well would like to extend my thanks to the Educational Foundation for putting on and hosting a fantastic event to honor the Teachers of the Year. When you're got that many celebrities in the room, I guess if you'll say, because I call all of our Teachers of the Year celebrities, it's really nice to be able to make a big to-do about that. And the decorations look fantastic. You really felt like you were walking into something that took your breath away. And then to be in the presence of so many educators that have so much experience and have touched the lives of thousands of people over the time is just, I'll tell you, that's humbling to stand in front of those people. So well done on all of their parts. And then to carry that momentum forward, boy, the Ed Foundation sure is rocking and rolling right now, because a few days later, then we get to stop by the classrooms of the teacher or the rookie Teacher of the Year finalists and the school-related Employee of the Year finalists, and it's always fun to be part of that caravan and walk in and surprise these folks and see the emotion just take over. So good luck to all of those folks, and I just can't wait to the Rookie Teacher of the Year event and Night of Stars to celebrate them as well. Last week or the week before, the South Lake Chamber Education Committee got together, and it's one of the things that we had talked about were the teacher certification exams. So, Stuart, your remarks tonight are spot on as we talk about the need for the state to look at these exams. One of the things that I thought was most mind-provoking were the number of the decline in the percentage of people passing some of these tests for the first time since 2014. When we look at the general knowledge, we see that, well, math was the lowest of the sub-tests passed in 2014 at 80%, and in 2017 that dropped to 57%. That's a significant drop, and certainly represents a barrier to many folks who won't even be using this complex math when they go teach first grade. So calling for the state to review the content in that test is important, as well as the fees for retaking. When you get a test that just half the people are passing, and then you're going to go charge them another $150 or so to take a single subtest, it does create a barrier for folks. And it's not just the general knowledge, but we look at elementary ed, which was passed generally with about 86% by first-timers in 2014, now has dropped off to like in the 50s and 60s as well. So clearly, and I'll I guess put my caveat on all that I'm all for making sure teachers are qualified, but when you see so few people passing this thing, there's probably some bigger things to look at and explore over there. So hopefully the state will continue to be on their attention this year.
Yeah, looks like they need to follow the money and find out who's making the kickbacks.
That's right. When the testing company then will sell you the review materials after you fail their test.
A little questionable. Ms. Luke, I believe you had something else?
I did. I knew I did. I wasn't being funny. We ran into Alice Heflin, who used to be the statistician for the House on the FEFP. And so we got to spend about an hour with her, got into some of the nuances of the formula, even things that I thought were true that she kind of debunked, but we didn't have the time to drill down, so she left me okay. She did offer. She said she would come anytime and even just do a workshop on the FEFP, the same presentation she gives to the House and to the Senate, she would be willing to come down and give to us. So I just wanted to put it out there that if we're interested in just learning more about the formula and about its nuances, that we could invite her.
That'd be amazing.
I would like
Yeah.
it.
So. Okay. I just wanted to put that out there.
So that leaves me. I also attended the Teacher of Year banquet, which was a wonderful celebration of all of our teachers. I wanted to say thank you to Sheriff Grinnell for emceeing. He was very entertaining and MC, and all the work that Carmen Columbat, Doug Major, and the whole Educational Foundation. We have a wonderful Educational Foundation. They really do a lot of work and put on these amazing celebrations for our teachers, which I think are highly appreciated by our teachers. I also was able to attend the Lake County Spelling Bee this year, which is my first time attending, and I was nervous. So I can't imagine how nervous the children were. It was like watching a game show live, and they were wonderful. They spelled words I had to look up because I didn't know what the word was or the definition. So I was very impressed, and I was just blown away by the kids. Very just amazing, bright, we have a great future ahead of us. And also, I will see you at the Eustis Service League Bunko Night. So second shout out to them. And that's all I have. So unless anyone else has anything, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.